本日は動物細胞と植物細胞の違いについてです。So let's get started. Today, I'm going to talk about the differences between animal cells and plant cells. They share the common components such as nucleus, mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, ribosome, and cell membrane, or which you can call it plasma membrane. On the other hand, some organelles exist only in plant cells, chloroplast, cell wall, and vacuole. On the other hand, centrosome exists only in animal cells. Finally, animals are made up of millions of cells. Animal cells have an irregular structure and are made of nucleus, mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, ribosome, and centrosome, which is found only in animal cells. Plants are also made up of millions of cells. Plant cells have a nucleus, cell membrane, Golgi apparatus, ribosome, and the mitochondria. Also, they have chloroplast, vacuole, and cell walls. That's all for today. 本日は、核と染色体についてです。So let's get started. Today I'm going to talk about the structure of nucleus and the chromosome. The nucleus is a membrane-bound organelle that contains DNA of eukaryotic cells. Usually, it is surrounded by endoplasmic reticulum, we call it ER. This is an organelle that contains the genetic material of a cell. The nucleus can be described as common center. The main structure making up the nucleus, the nuclear envelope, a double membrane that encloses the entire nucleus. Then, nuclear poles, which are located on the surface of the nuclear envelope, are required to regulate nuclear transport of molecules across the envelope. Movement of large molecules such as proteins and RNA through the nuclear poles is required for both gene expression and the maintenance of the chromosomes. The nucleus stores nucleolus and chromosome on the inside. That nucleolus participates in cell division. A chromosome is a complex of protein and DNA. A chromosome, when a chromosome is viewed under a microscope, that structure resembles beads on the string. Each of these tiny beads is called a nucleosome, made up of DNA tightly coiled many times around the protein called histones. That's the body structure. Finally, the key point, the nucleus has a double membrane structure and stores nucleolus and chromosome inside. The chromosome is built by the nucleosomes. The nucleosome is made of DNA and histones. That's all for today. 本日はミトコンドリアの構造と働きについてです。So let's get started. Today, I'm going to talk about the structure and the function of mitochondria. The mitochondria are double membrane organelles, which are found in most eukaryotic cells. The mitochondria contain outer and inner membranes composed of phospholipid bilayers and proteins. The two membranes have different properties. The outer membrane encloses the entire organelle, also contains enzymes involved in such diverse activities. Enzyme is made of protein and works as a biological catalysis. Catalysis is a substance which accelerates chemical reactions. Inner membrane contains 5 types of proteins with different functions. The matrix is a space enclosed by the inner membrane. Also, this is important in the production of energy. Therefore, the most typical roles of mitochondria are to produce energy through respiration and to regulate cellular metabolism. respiration is chemical processes on the presence of oxygen, which consumes glucose and provides most of energy in the cell. Then carbon dioxide and water are released. Finally, the key point is the mitochondria are double membrane organelles composed of inner and outer membrane, and their main function is the production of energy using glucose and oxygen. That's all for today. 本日は協力体の構造と働きについてです。So let's get started. Today, I'm going to talk about the structure and the function of chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are organelles found in the plant cells. They generally have a lens-like shape. All chloroplasts have two membranes, as well as mitochondria. That space, surrounded by outer membrane, is called stroma. It contains protein, alkaline, and aqueous fluid. The important chemical reactions take place in this area. We are going to learn their details in photosynthesis lecture in next time. Also, there are some inner membranes, which are called thylakoids. This part contributes to the light reactions of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is one of the main functions of a chloroplast, and it happens in the leaves of plants. The chloroplasts absorb energy, such as sunlight, and use it in chemical reaction with water and carbon dioxide to produce oxygen and glucose. Glucose is a food for plants. Unlike animals, plants can make their own food by process of photosynthesis. Finally, the key point, the structure of chloroplasts is a double membrane and found in plant cells. Their main function is photosynthesis, which produces oxygen and glucose from carbon dioxide and water using sunlight. That's all for today. 本日はゴルジ体によるタンパク質輸送についてです。So let's get started. Today, I'm going to talk about transportation of protein and Golgi apparatus. Some proteins are stored in endoplasmic reticulum. They release protein which are coated by vesicle. Then they are received at membrane of Golgi apparatus. We call it disease fusion. Golgi apparatus is an organelle found in most eukaryotic cells. They are responsible for transporting, modifying, and packaging proteins into vesicles for delivery to targeted destination. It is located in the cytoplasm next to the endoplasmic reticulum and near the cell nucleus. In general, the Golgi apparatus is made up of approximately 4 to 8 single-layer membrane. When a vesicle fuses with a membrane, the proteins are delivered into opposite side. During this transportation, the received proteins are modified into functional molecules and are marked for delivery to specific extracellular locations. This is called modification. Modification means give us small changes to proteins such as function and concentration. Many types of enzymes which contribute to modification are included in Golgi apparatus. In the final stage, modified proteins are stored in Golgi apparatus. When proteins needed to be secreted, they are packaged into vesicle at the opposite end. These vesicles are carried to the plasma membrane to release into extracellular environment for targeted destinations. This is called exocytosis. It is important in processing a protein for hormone and enzyme secretions. Finally, the key point, Golgi apparatus receive proteins from ER. Then they modify, store, and secrete proteins for targeted destination. That's all for today. Well, let's get started. Today, I'm going to talk about the centrosome and its function. The centrosome is located in the cytoplasm in animal cells. The centrosome is an organelle which is thought to have evolved only in eukaryotic cells, while fungi and plants lack centrosomes. The centrosome is composed of two centrioles. That centrosome has a key role in efficient mitosis in animal cells. Mitosis is a process where a single cell is divided into two identical daughter cells. This is called cell division. The key points. The centrosome is composed of two centrioles, and the function of centrosome is participate cell division in animal cells. That's all for today. 本日は液胞とその働きについてです。So let's get started. Today, I'm going to talk about vacuole and its function. Vacuoles are found in both animal and plant cells, but are much larger in plant cells. Vacuoles might store food or any variety of nutrients, whose a cell might need to survive. Also, they can store waste products so that the cell is protected from contamination. Contamination means being made impure by polluting or poisoning. Eventually, those waste products would be sent out of the cell. The structure of vacuole is very simple. There is a membrane that surrounds a mass of fluid. One important function is the maintenance of hydrostatic pressure. Hydrostatic pressure is the balance of water pressure between inside and outside of a cell. Plants use a vacuole to store water. Those tiny water bags help to support the plant. Those vacuoles gain and lose water depending on how much water is available to the plant. When a plant has lost much its water, the vacuole are shrinking. When the plants find a new source of water, the vacuoles absorb water again. Then, the plants get normal structure. The key points. The vacuole's function is containing nutrition and waste products and maintaining hydrostatic pressure. That's all for today. 本日は細胞壁についてです。So let's get started. Today, I'm going to talk about cell wall. A cell wall is made of cellulose, only found in around plant cells and a few other organisms such as bacteria, fungi, and some protozoa or plankton. They are not the same as the plant cell walls made of the cellulose. The other walls might be made from protein or substance called chitin. They all serve the same purpose of protecting and maintaining structure, but they are very different molecules. Cellulose is a specialized sugar that is classified as a structural carbohydrate. If you guys imagine, plant cell is like a water balloon. The cell wall is like a cardboard box that protects the balloon. The balloon is protected from the outside world by the structure that provides protection. Also, cell wall allows plants to grow to great heights. It uses strong cell walls to maintain its shape. For overall support, dense cells in core of the trunk can lift a tree grow very high. The most plant cells are freely permeable to water, ions, and small molecules, including small proteins. Permeable means allowing liquids or particles to pass through it. The pH is an important factor governing the transport of molecules through the cell wall. So finally, the key point structure is a cell wall is made of cellulose, and their property is freely permeable, and their function is a protection of a cell. That's all for today.